Welcome to HDTV. You now rocking with your boy. Um, this is from hold on. Oh, waterfowl. Dominion fires oilfield worker after he saved 50 waterfowl. So this was on January 7, 2020. And it's by Angus M. Thurmer Jr. Dominion Energy fired an oil field worker in Rock Springs after the employee saved an estimated 50 waterfowl from wastewater ponds, which are, I believe, is ducks. Adam Roach, and he's rescued about that many waterfowl in the last 5 years after they landed in tainted ponds at his work site about 50 miles south of Rock Springs. He would take the oil slicked birds to a company facility, wash them with Dawn household soap, warm them in his truck, then set them free on clean water. He told Wildfile in an interview, I got fired a couple days before Christmas for rescuing these guys throughout the years. He posted recently on Facebook above many photographs of his avian patients. I only did what I thought was right. Dominion terminated Roach on December 19th for violating company policy. According to a letter obtained by Wildfire, his firing followed an internal investigation. The 7 sentence letter read, Dominion wouldn't say why it fired Roach, calling the issue an internal matter. The company has fully complied with the applicable laws and company policies with respect to the individual. Dominion's Don Porter Media Relations Manager wrote Wildfire, we abide by federal regulations which direct us to notify the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service only in the event of a bird fatality. Royce described a sad scene at the water's edge. They get oil on their feathers, he said. They just go to bank and sit there. They'd freeze to death if I didn't grab them. No bird rescues allowed. 4 ponds, the largest about the size of a football field, dot the Canyon Creek Energy Field complex along the southern border of the state. Royce said it's really toxic water, he said. Slicks of oil on them accumulate over time. A net covers one of them. Dominion's Porter wrote a bird alert system uses radar to deploy plastic falcons, strobes and falcon screeches to scare waterfowl away from the others. The system doesn't work that well, Roach said. Dominion called the bird scaring system not 100% effective and wrote that some birds alight in the ponds anyway, landing in produced water from natural gas wells, contaminated groundwater that contains gas and other substances. Oil field workers at the Canyon Creek field employed their own rescue system. Roy said, we had a net out there, he said. I would just net the duck or grab it. I would take it into our facility, he said. I would wash it. They rode around with me in my truck, loving the heat while I worked my ass off. At the end of the day, Roach would release the rehabilitated duck in a freshwater pond nearby. He said most would fly off. Roach contacted state wildlife officials who told him what he was doing was probably okay, he said, but Dominion wrote that such rescues by employees are not allowed. When this happens, Dominion Energy follows federal migratory bird treaty act related regulations, which forbid our employees from retrieving the fowl. Dominion's porters wrote Wildfowl. Roach said other workers had been rescuing ducks during his 5 years with the company and beyond. Before I was there, they were doing the same thing, he said. Others did the same, but it all got pinned on me. Roach said he tried to work within the system. He believes Dominion could get a permit to handle the ducks and told supervisors as much. Federal regulations allow licensed veterinarians to rescue migratory birds without a rehabilitation permit, but they must transfer the birds to an authorized rehabilitator within 24 hours after they are stabilized. This fall, a supervisor told Roach not to rescue any more waterfowl. Roy said he recently ordered me to let them die and not to touch them. He wrote on Facebook, after that, I never touched another duck, he told Wildfire. Dominion put him on paid leave for almost 2 months, Roy said. Like I'm some criminal, he said. He called the episode a 2 month ordeal that led up to his firing. Then I was terminated. Ducks were at issue, Roy said. An HR person told me that. Dominion's porter said the company is following federal regulations. We did not create these rules and regulations, but we are committed to adhering to them. He wrote, one of Dominion's Energy's core values is ethics, which we take seriously, especially pertaining to government regulations concerning our business operations. Dominion fired him for violating the company's code of ethics. Roy said he was told, I don't think there's anything about ducks in the code of ethics, he said. Roy has another job in Rock Springs, auto shop in Rock Springs, he said, but it isn't making as much as he used to. In the oil patch, he believes he's made the right decision. I don't regret it, he said. Well, everyone's going to side with him. Yeah, it's bogus, but at the end of the day, man, you gotta follow the rules at your job. It's not your job. And this is the thing I tell people at my job I work at. You have to follow the rules, regardless of if you hate it or you feel you're doing the right thing. He did the right thing in saving the ducks, but at the end of the day, you lost your job and lost a sizable income. So to me, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Them birds would have just had to go, man. I mean, I'm not trying to hate or anything. If I'm getting paid good money and it says that, if they tell you, yo, leave the ducks alone, let them be where they're at unless they die or something, then that's what act on it. You got to leave that to the company because what if you get hurt helping those birds or something happens to you? Then they're liable for you on the clock. And then you're on the clock, they're liable for you. That's a law that's against them. And then what if the wildlife didn't like how you handled the ducks? Luckily they were nice because you did a good job, but any other person they could have probably done said, yo, you're not supposed to do that and had a problem with you. Now, like I said, that's the story I got. There could be more to it, but from what I've read, I have to side with the company on this one. And I really am more pro employee, but in this situation, you got to go with the company because the company could be liable if anything happens to you and they have a work ethic and everything. Yeah, then you started dry snitching, trying to say, oh, other people do it. Listen, don't ever do that. If you're working at a company, don't ever dry snitch on somebody else. Oh, but that person did that. It doesn't matter. You got caught. You got caught. That's like me if I say, yo, I'm finna go take some money, but I get caught. I'm like, oh man, but D and Terry and them, they do it. Doesn't matter. You got caught, and now you cost them their job, which you don't know their situation. Their situation could be worse than what your situation is. Not only did you not take the fall, you tried to put it on somebody else because you got caught and you were wrong. I understand that you wanted to help and be a Samaritan, but listen, them ducks would have had to stay there for me. I ain't losing my job. I ain't losing a check or nothing coming in. That them ducks would have had to die that day. I apologize if you're an animal lover and you want to dislike this video, go ahead. But hey, he got what he deserved. He better listen next time he found another job, which is good. But don't do that on this job like you did on the last one. You lost a big income. So, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, share this story. Tell me, do you agree with the company or do you agree with the guy and what he did? Let me know in the comment section. Keep it respectable and hit the notification bell. Select all and support On the Mark, OTM we call it, with Tracy and Cliff. Is every Monday on Facebook, Instagram, and I believe YouTube, and I think it's mostly Facebook. Yeah, it's on Facebook. So look it up there, and it's every Monday. around between 4 to 7, maybe 5 to 8, one of them times. But just go check it out and support them. They really put me on. I'm really looking out for them like they look out for me. So thank you for listening, and we out. Yeah, boy.